We are human beings, and we are living in a planet called the Earth. Our story has not started a long time ago compared to the time of the universe. We invented science and technology. We invented the wheel, settled down and started farming. We made the Industrial Revolution. We built buildings and built skyscrapers, and we started to live together. We managed to split the atom, discovered electricity. We made quantum computers, invented internet and social media. We made the space shuttles. We invented Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Voyager 1, the farthest human-made object ever from the Earth. Voyager 1 is now 24 billion kilometers away from our home. This is the farthest it has traveled in 46 years. But even this distance is meaningless compared to distance in deep space. We sent aircraft into space, but let alone using the energy of our galaxy, somehow we are still incapable of using the energy of our sun, which gives us almost everything. Our universe was formed 13.7 billion years ago. So what does that mean? It's been almost 14 billion years since our universe began. According to the last findings, there may be 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Can you imagine? Astronomers don't exactly know how many stars in each of those 2 trillion galaxies. Most are so distant, there is no way to tell precisely, so far away. But we can make a good guess at the number of the stars in our galaxy, Milky Way. Those stars are diverse too and come in a wide variety of size and colors. Red, white and blue stars give off different amounts of light. By measuring that starlight, specifically its color and brightness, astronomers can estimate how many stars our galaxy holds. With that method, they discovered that our galaxy has 100 billion stars. And there are 2 trillion galaxies in the universe. So, how many stars are there in the universe? 2 trillion multiply 100 billion. Can you imagine? Can you count? The number is so big, it's so hard to imagine. But let's try this. It's about 10 times the number of the cups of water in all the ocean of the Earth. Now think that those stars have 5 planets each, approximately. So, how many planets are there in the universe? Okay, I can't even imagine the number again. It's so many. But so far, we haven't encountered any extraterrestrial beings. Are we really alone in the universe? There is a widespread belief that extraterrestrials were born from another planet and performed reproductive experiments on a selected group of people. Like this guy called the Black Alien Project. Don't worry, he is not one of the extraterrestrial beings. I know this guy turned himself into an alien by tons of plastic surgeries. Okay, let's go back to our topic, aliens. Although there is a strange belief and there is no reliable evidence to prove that, it has become very popular. A third of the American public believes that aliens have visited Earth. According to the doctrines of this belief, aliens had an accident in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. United States government rescued the spacecraft and its contents. Since then, they have been interviewing aliens in a location called Area 51 secretly. The increase in UFO cases is attributed to increase in alien activity on Earth. Aliens are abducting more people than ever before, leaving various marks of their presence in the form of so-called crab rings, amputating various limbs of cattle, and occasionally sending out orders to a selected group of people. Support for such beliefs about UFOs and aliens often consist of dubious inferences based on untrustworthy evidence. UFO fans also convinced that there is a government and mass media conspiracy to hide alien activity and prevent aliens from proving that they have come to the Earth. It is highly possible that there is a life elsewhere in the universe, and that some of it composed of intelligent life. Statistically, it is highly probable that among the trillions of stars in billions of galaxies in the universe, there are millions of planets close to the Earth in age and within the necessary distance of a star similar to our Sun. It is highly probable that life developed on some of these planets. However, as a result of such evolution, intelligent life forms do not necessarily to be less intelligent or equal or superior to us. We can truly be unique in the universe. To be alone in the universe. It suddenly sounded like it was better if we weren't alone. But of course we shouldn't forget that the closest star to us other than the Sun is very far from home. So a journey between that star and the Earth will take longer than a human lifetime. The fact that our Sun takes 200 million years to go around the Milky Way gives us a glimpse of interstellar travel. Alpha Centauri, the closest star to the Sun, is 4 light years away. When you say like that, it kinda gives you an implication that is not so much time. It gives you the impression that that is close. But in reality, the distance equals to 40 trillion kilometers. So, if we go there at the speed of light, we will reach there in 4 years. As I mentioned in the beginning, Voyager 1, the fastest spacecraft we have, is moving at the speed of about 65,000 kilometers per hour. At this speed, it will take 70,000 years to reach Alpha Centauri. Despite the possibility that there may be life in other planets and that some of it might be highly intelligent life forms, the probability of any signal sent in any direction from any planet in the universe reaching another life-bearing planet is negligible. It would also be useless to search for intelligent life in the universe without exactly knowing where are we going. Waiting for an incoming signal can also turn out to be longer than any lifetime on any life on any planet. If a signal reaches us one day, the waves that brought this signal to us will have been sent hundreds or thousands years ago. And when we determine the source of that signal, life on that planet may have ended, and that planet may have been disappeared altogether. For this reason, while it is possible that intelligent life exists in the universe, there are some pretty serious obstacles to traveling between solar systems in order to find it. Those who embark on such a journey will not be able to return for quite some time. We will need to find a way to keep these people alive for hundreds or even thousands of years. We will need equipment that can last hundreds or thousands of years and be repaired in deep space if they fail. These are not entirely impossible conditions, but they still seem to be obstacles that could make intergalactic and interstellar travel nearly impossible. However, think of this way. Imagine a civilization that existed 10 billion years ago before us. Let me repeat, not 10 million, 10 billion. And imagine they have survived till now. Their technology is 10 billion years ahead of us. Maybe they have been managed to exceed the speed of light. Teleporting may have become something like walking for them. They may have a technology that we cannot imagine. And imagine this civilization could find a way to watch, to visit, even interfere in us. To them, we are probably something like ants. They may be walking among us. They may appear at times. They may even kidnap us and conduct experiments on us. Actually, it's very hard to know, of course. And the evidence isn't reliable either. We will never know. Here is the story. On the night of September 1961, a married couple named Betty and Barney Hill encountered a strange light on the road on their way back to their home in New Hampshire from vacation. Barney stopped the car, looked through into the light and saw something terrible. The light belonged to a UFO and the aliens inside were also visible. Barney and his wife panicked and started to run away. But then they went into the light and come to their senses after a while. According to them, this event happened in an instant. But when they looked at their watch, they realized that exactly 2 hours were missing. The Hill couple did not understand what the hell happened. They got in the car, then drove home. But there were some strange signs. Betty's clothes had some rips. Barney had pains in certain parts of his body, but didn't take it seriously. Later on, both of them started having nightmares at nights. They started seeing strange creatures and strange places in their nightmares, according to what they told. They thought that they were crazy. 2 years after this incident, they started to get professional help in hypnosis sessions. Betty said that a pregnancy test was inserted into her belly and painful experiments were conducted on her. But more than that, she explained that one of the great creatures showed her a star chart. The experts turned the star map into visuals. The star map Betty described was the Zeta Reticuli star system, which was discovered years later. Abnormal biological material was discovered on Betty's dress. They claim that they were abducted by aliens at that night. They were detained for 2 hours. Needles were stuck in Betty Hill's stomach. It is very likely that some egg samples were taken and sperm samples were taken from Barney. Apart from this, different physical experiments were carried out and aliens contacted them. They spoke English in some ways. During these conversations, some star maps were shown and aliens told them some of their intentions. Their memories were erased and then returned to the place where they were taken. Even though the results are like this, whether this UFO incident involving Betty and Barney Hill couple is still a fiction or fact remains mystery. This story is actually quite an interesting one. Some of the things told in the story are very similar to the visuals in science fiction movies that have been broadcasted on television before. The terms alien and UFO they are talking about are almost the same as those shown on television. At the same time, it's been noticed to this day that most of the people who claim to have been abducted by aliens usually talk about some icons that were extremely popular in television, cinema, and in comic book culture at that time. So it is as if they were talking about the things that were all made and seen by humans until now. How much truth are these people telling, really? If you ask my opinion, I believe in extraterrestrial life. We cannot be the only living beings who have established civilization in such a large universe. As Carl Sagan said, it is like taking a glass of water from the ocean and saying that there's no whale in the ocean. How true this story is, of course, still debatable.